Hello, and welcome to a live poetry reading. Now, you may not see this till after it's over. Go ahead and leave a request in the chat if you like, or as a comment on one of the other poems on the page or short stories. So, if you want to hear me read something, I do ask that it's in the public domain. That way, I don't have to uh, worry about copyrights. But there's a lot of good stuff in the public domain. Most of the good stuff is in the public domain, I think. So, anyway. I think tonight we're going to start off with Edgar Allan Poe and Alone. So I'm recording this on YouTube. I've got my TikTok live. I just turned on, so a lot of times I'm a little more active over there. So I'll get some stuff from there, I'm sure. Let's go. Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still, from the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Edgar Allan Poe, Alone. So yeah, if you got something you want to hear, let me know. Otherwise, I will just keep reading. I like poetry. I'm a voice actor, so this is good practice for me, and I always have fun. About another Edgar Allan Poe, The Conqueror Worm. Lo, 'tis a gala tonight, within the wholesome latter years. An angel throng, bewinged, bedight in veils and drowned in tears, sit in a theatre to see a play of hopes and fears, while the orchestra breathes fitfully the music of the spheres. Mimes, in the form of God on high, mutter and mumble low, and hither and thither fly, mere muppets they, who come and go at bidding of vast formless things that shift the scenery to and fro, flapping from out their condor wings, invisible woe. That motley drama, oh be sure it shall not be forgot, with its phantom chased forevermore by a crowd that sees it not, through a circle that it ever returneth, in, to the selfsame spot, and much of madness, and more of sin, and horror the soul of the plot. But see amid the mimic rout a crawling shape intrude, a blood-red thing that writhes from out the scenic solitude. It writhes with mortal pangs, the mimes become its food, and seraphs sob at vermin fangs, in human gore imbued. Out, out are the lights, out all, and over each quivering form the curtain, a funeral pall, comes down with the rush of a storm, while the angels, all pallid and wan, uprising, unveiling, affirm that the play is the tragedy, man, and its hero, the conqueror worm. I thought I just saw something. I thought I just saw a request and then it went away. Alone? You weren't like, that was literally the last one I just read. Are you saying you liked the reading I just did, or are you asking for it again? Because 'Cause I'll do it again, but I wasn't sure of your comment. But, like, that was, like, literally the one previous. Well, it's so nice, we'll do it twice. All right, Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. From childhood's hour, I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source, I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still, from the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed that. No worries. I know. I mean, this is definitely a come and go type of thing. But I, like, I'd read it, like, I'd just gotten finished, so I wasn't sure if you were saying, like, "Oh, I love Alone." I didn't realize it was request. No worries. Um, Love Truth. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, John Maysfield. I like that one. Sea Fever by John Masefield. I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by, and the wheels kick and the wind's song and the white sails shaking, and a gray mist on the sea's face and a gray dawn breaking. I must go down to the seas again, for the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied. And all I ask is a windy day with the white clouds flying, and the flung spray and the blown spume, and the seagulls crying. I must go down to the seas again, to the vagrant gypsy life, to the gull's way and the whale's way, where the wind's like a whetted knife. And all I ask is a merry yarn from a laughing fellow rover, and a quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trick's over. So, Nick, let's see. Let me see if I can find that one. Okay. The Measure of a Man. You do a poetry podcast. Very cool. I have a podcast as well. Uh, Maybe we should talk. That's really cool. What's your podcast called? Okay, the measure of a man. What is the measure of a man? Is it strength, intelligence, or fearlessness? The ability to lead others down the right path? The ability to inspire the seed of greatness in those who need encouragement? Aforementioned are measuring tools, then many then many live life as a man. Do you wear your love for God like shining armor? Is the love of God resting upon and guiding you? No one can question your strength, intelligence, or leadership. There are plaques and championships to prove the ability to lead, measuring sticks the world uses to define a man. What can't be measured is the soul of a man. The soul is the inward interpretation of his inner shell. May your soul catch fire, the flames of decency, honor, and integrity burning bright, bright enough to light the way for hundreds of young men in the dark, bright enough to bring honor to a world forever changed by your presence, bright enough to heat the souls of younger men you leave behind. The true measure of a man is the legacy he leaves. Be you husband, father, brother, or friend, leave your torch burning brightly, and we will never allow the flame to die, as we are all warmed by the fire of a true man. The measure of a man. I do write some of my own poetry, but I don't think I've maybe read one on here one time, but I don't usually read my own on here. Kristen, what's going on? I loved your southern thing so much. Your southern what Clarice. That was so good. I like doing southern like whatever like Hamlet, and Kristen did a line from or a sort of a monologue from Silence of the Lambs, except in a southern accent, and it was incredible. You have to check it out. You just have to. Uh, okay, Nickel, I am not following where you're going, Nickel Fritz. I'm not sure if you're writing a poem or what's going on there. Hey, 5 a.m. is when the good ideas come a lot of the time. Okay, Agent Smith. Okay, okay. It was great. It was fantastic. Okay, Sarah Hodges, Hamlet's soliloquy. Yeah, what a piece of work as a man. That's a good one. Okay, what a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, how form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so. That's great. Oh, Hamlet. Oh, Hamlet. Oh, did he do that? Did Patrick Stewart? Isn't he the one that played Picard? I never really watched Star Trek, but I love Patrick Stewart, and I loved him in his. I don't know. It's probably maybe 10 years old by now, but his Macbeth. where they shot it in a like a bunker or something, and it was amazing. Loved that production. Okay, let's see. Hardcastle Crags. I can find it. All right. Hardcastle Crags by Sylvia Plath. Flint-like, her feet struck such a rapid echoes from the steely street, tacking in blue, tacking in moon-blue looks from the black stone-built town, that she heard the quick air ignite its tinder and shake. A firework of echoes from wall to wall of the dark, dwarfed cottages. But the echoes died at her back as the walls gave way to fields and the incessant seethe of grasses riding in the full of the moon, manes to the wind, tireless, tied as a moon-bound sea moves on its route. Though a mist wraith wound up from the fissured valley and hung shoulder high ahead, it fattened to no family-featured ghost, nor did any word body with a name the blank mood she walked in. Once past the dream-peopled village, her eyes entertained no dream, and the Sandman's dust lost luster under her foot-soles. The long wind, paring her person down to a pinch of flame, blew its burdened whistle in the whirl of her ear, and like a scooped-out pumpkin crown, her head cupped the babble. All the night gave her in return for the paltry gift of her bulk and the beat of her heart was the humped indifferent iron of its hills and its pastures bordered by black stone set on black stone. Barns guarded broods and litters behind shut doors. The dairy herds knelt in the meadow, mute as boulders. Sheep drowsed stoneward in their tussocks of wool, and birds, twig sleeping, wore granite ruffs, their shadows the guise of leaves. The whole landscape loomed absolute as the antique world was once, in its earliest sway of lymph and sap, unaltered by eyes, enough to the enough to snuff the quick of her small heat out. But before the weight of stones and hills of stones could break her down to mere quartz grit in that stony light, she turned back. Hardcastle Crags, Sylvia Plath. Oh, yeah, Patrick Stewart is incredible. Favorite Hamlet? I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the um, To Be or Not to Be because it's I don't know. It's there's a lot to it. It's kind of I didn't even think on that one. That was just so well written, and I really like that. He really walks through a lot of feelings, and he's sort of like he's like, well, could it be no, well, it could be like this, or I don't know. Yeah, I just really like that one. I don't, some people say Hamlet, he can't make up his mind, but I don't really think that. I think Hamlet is really thoughtful and he thinks about things from a lot of different, points of view. So he's really open-minded rather than wishy-washy. That's kind of what I think. I like that he's sort of talking through different things. What's up, Margie? Hope you have a good evening at work. Well, yeah, there's not a lot of fat on any of Shakespeare. I mean, he just it's so good. He's such a good writer. But yeah, Hamlet is a masterpiece. Whoops. Can you do the mending wall? Robert Frost? Okay. Uh, Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen ground swell under it, and spills the upper boulders in the sun, and makes gaps even two can abreast. The work of hunters is another thing. I have come after them and made repair where they have not left one stone on a stone, but they could have left the rabbit out of hiding to please the yelping dogs. The gaps, I mean, no one has seen them made or heard them made, but at spring mending time, we find them there. I let my neighbor know beyond the hill, and on a day we meet to walk the line and set the wall between us once again. We keep the wall between us as we go, to each the boulders that have fallen to each. And some are loaves, and some so nearly balls we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. We wear our fingers rough when handling them. Oh, just another kind of outdoor game, one on a side. It comes a little more. For where it is, we do not need the wall. He is all pine, and I am apple orchard. Apple tree will never get across and eat the cones for his pines. He says, good fences make good neighbors. Spring is the mischief in me. And I wonder if I could put a notion in his head. Why do they make good neighbors? Isn't it where there are cows? But here there are no cows. Before I built a wall, I'd ask to know what I was walling in or walling out, and to whom I was likely to give offense. Something there is that doesn't love a wall, that wants it down. I would say elves to him. It does not, but it's not elves exactly, and I'd rather he said it for himself. I see him there bringing a stone grasped firmly by the top in each hand, like an old stone savage armed. He moves in darkness, as it seems to me, out of woods only, in the shade of trees. He will not go behind his father's saying, and he likes having thought of it so well. He says again, good fences make good neighbors. Robert Frost, Mending Wall. Um, let's see. Hmm. Okay, let's see. I think this is a Fear and Fridays, Zach Bryan. I'd say I've seen some beautiful days. I've walked countless coastlines, awoken on mountaintops. I've seen death and birth and kissed good lips. I don't need a music machine telling me what a good story is. And matter of fact, I've never asked nothing from nobody. I've taken my motorbike down the Pacific 101 and I've stood atop the Empire State Building with my father. I've ridden in fear, although I was afraid every single time. I've learned that every waking moment is enough. Excess never leads to better things. It only piles and piles up the things that are already abundantly in front of you, like breathing and chasing and slow dancing and lovemaking, fighting and laughing. I'm unhinged, unworthy, and distasteful to mostly everyone I meet. However, I am loyal to a fault to anyone I find kindness in. I do not and fear tomorrow because I feel as though day has been enough. And I got no hate in my heart for anything, anywhere, for anyone. I think fear and Fridays got an awful lot in common. They're overdone and glorified and always leave you wanting. Yeah, I think fear and Fridays got a awful lot in common. They're overdone and glorified, and they always leave you wanting. Fear and Fridays. Uh, Hope is the thing with flowers. Hope is the thing with feathers, perhaps? Emily Dickinson? You bet. You bet. Feather. Oh, okay, good deal. I just want to make sure. I didn't know if it was one of those spoof poems. You know what I'm saying? Hope is a thing with, and I can't check my DMs while I'm on live, unfortunately. So um, what's the name of the other one you sent? I might could Google it. Nope, I hadn't heard of Zach Bryan. I mean, now I have. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. It might be, could be, who knows? The I don't know, maybe it's the way I've set my phone or something. Interesting. That's that's good because most, at least newer country is absolute horse crap, you know, as far as lyrically, musically too. But it's like, big truck, cold beer, pretty girl. That's all they just like. It's like a word salad of country cliche nonsense, and it's just you got to be pretty mindless, I think, to truly enjoy something like that. So that's really cool that he's a poet, an actual like poet. Well, people are idiots, Austin. Uh, and there's nothing. I mean, if you like, let's say Luke Bryan, I will laugh at you, but I don't think. I don't think you're a bad person. You know, Lanny Wilson's the best thing ever. Okay, I'm gonna laugh at you, but you just think that. You just go right ahead. I will not fight you. I will only laugh and be amused. And it's not just country. It's uh, I know, I think, Yo-Yo Ma, now there's a musician for you, that kinda stuff. Um, a bookish kitten. Uh, what would you like to hear? I will definitely consider it. There's a comedian, and I forget his name, he's really funny, young guy. He said, "Here's every Eric Church song." Eric Church is a country singer, for those who may not know, and, and I like Eric Church. I think he's got a good voice, I like a lot of his songs, but this is also true, and he just said, I think he mentioned, like, 3 things, like something American and something something to drink, and then, like, something to eat or something anyway, and then he did several variations of it, and it was really funny. Um, uh, Bookish Kitten, that is the title. Dylan Thomas, that is the title. So we can definitely do that one. Yes, I actually own that album of, Yo-Yo Ma and, what, the violinist name is Mark something. I forget that. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Uh, that's a incredible album. Okay, Dylan Thomas. Okay, "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night" by, uh, Dylan Thomas. "Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. The wise men at their end know dark is right. Because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieve it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men, near death, who see with blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, first bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate that. Let's see. Thanks by W.S. Merwin. I'm assuming that's the name. 'Cause I don't know that one. Merwin. And yeah, if you're new here and you like, oh, I like his poetry reading or his short stories, or I wish you would read an audiobook. Check out the link in my bio. I've got a podcast, YouTube. I put a lot of like long stuff. I do a lot of poetry, but also like classic short stories, Edgar Allan Poe, Jack London, Mark Twain, O. Henry, that kind of stuff. Shirley Jackson, Susan Glassville. Okay. Anyway, yeah, check that out if you like audio type stuff. Here's Thanks by W.S. Merwin. Listen, with the night falling, we are saying thank you. We are stopping on the bridges to bow from the railings, running out of the glass rooms with our mouths full of food to look at the sky and say thank you. We are standing by the water thanking it, standing by windows looking out in our directions, back from a series of hospitals, back from a mugging. After funerals, we are saying thank you. After the news of the dead, whether or not we knew them, we are saying thank you. Our telephones, over telephones, we are saying thank you. In doorways, and in the backs of cars, and in elevators, remembering wars and the police at the door, and the beatings on the stairs, we are saying thank you. In the banks, we are saying thank you. In the faces of the officials and the rich, and of all who will never change, we go on saying thank you, thank you. With the animals dying around us, taking our feelings, we are saying thank you. With the forests falling faster than the minutes of our lives, we are saying thank you. With the words going out like cells of a brain, with the cities growing over us, we are saying thank you faster and faster. With nobody listening, we are saying thank you. Thank you, we are saying and waving, dark though it is. Excuse me. Um, excuse me. Invictus, sure, you could do that. Okay, Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Excuse me. Uh, I watched the wall. Yeah, I hear that a lot actually. Um, I usually get that or the narrator from Charlotte's Web, Zach Ryan, or like who was the forget his name. He did a lot of voices in Disney, the old Disney cartoons. Like he played Little John in um, what was his name in the Disney cartoon. He plays in the Aristocats. He was the Abraham Galassi, Giuseppe Casey, that guy. Um, look that up now. Phil Harris. Yeah. But yeah, he's in a lot of. He plays, I think, Baloo in the Jungle Book, the original Jungle Book. Okay, let's see here. Is Risk by Ana- Aeneas Nin. And then the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Interesting. I have to think about that one for a while. Zach Brown's in the Air Force for 90. Oh, very cool. Veteran. Jen, absolutely. Thank you for swinging by. Same to you. Thank you. All right. Austin, did you say your favorite was Ozymandias? I know that was in a sidebar conversation. I didn't want to feel like I was butting in, but you can read that if you want to. You bet, Dawson. Okay. Ozymandias, Austin's favorite poem. I think, if I read that right. Yeah, I know. I'm just putting my nose where it doesn't belong in my own life. But hey, I respect everybody's privacy. That's why, that's why it's where the cool people congregate. Okay, Ozymandias by Percy Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that sculpture well those passions red which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, in despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." Excuse me. The Quitter by Roberts. I've never read The Quitter, but if it's Robert Service, I know that what do you call it? It's a good one. Uh, let's see. I think I'm gonna skip Last Gods. It's kind of a bedtime one. I kind of like to keep it chill. Uh, Well, it is bedtime for most people. I mean, it's almost midnight where I am, and then most people are either within an hour or 2 of me, and that one is just I don't know, I mean, some people would probably like it, but yeah, that's another one, I think I'm gonna skip, Brian. I love that one. I think everyone needs to read that, like, because and that might be like a good Memorial Day one type of thing, but that one's heavy. Okay, Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the young lion and dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble, him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Psalm 91. The Highwayman. It's a good one. It's a long one. Maybe too long for this. But you're welcome, Beth. Good suggestion. But that's also a good suggestion. Let's see. Kate Whitehorse, you are very welcome, Kate, on YouTube Live. And I always, or lately, I've been recording these and sticking them on YouTube. Um, so yeah, let's do the Highwayman. That's kind of on the longer end of things, but it'll be cool. Um, oh, that's really cool, Austin. Let's see, Cat. The Moon and Water by Mary Oliver. Let me see that real quick. I think we're about to read The Highwayman, but let me see the length of this one. Uh, I love Mary Oliver, but I don't know if I've read that one. Um, hmm. Well, it's not on here. Yeah, I don't know, because a lot of her stuff, since I mean, she only very recently passed away. A lot of her stuff is in, like books, and maybe they're not up on the internet or something. I don't know. I'm not able to find it. Wait, wait. Hold that thought. Okay, how about we'll do Moon and Water by Mary Oliver, and then we'll do the Highwayman, and then probably be bedtime. Okay, Moon and Water by Mary Oliver. I wake and spend the last hours of darkness with no one but the moon. She listens to my complaints like the good companion she is, and comforts me surely with her light. But she, like everyone, has her own life. So finally, I understand that she has turned away is no longer listening. She wants me to refold myself into my own life. And bending close, as we all dream of doing, she rows with her white arms through the dark waters which she adores. I awoke this morning several hours away from sunrise into the darkness. There is no moon in this pre dawn time, for she hasn't risen yet. When she does, I still won't be able to see her through the horizon's cloud covers. The sun might also not shine. To whom shall I complain then? Burrowing under my own covers, I look out onto the woods and see faint shadows, and hear a far off barred owl echoing my own lament, which is that I have never wasted one moment, not being a good companion, not adoring the world, not grateful for this day, though it seems gray at its inception, not bending close to hear the smallest whisper of my heart, of yours, of the earth's. What are your complaints today? Mary Oliver, Moon and Water. Thank you, Kat, though, for that great, what do you call it? Poem suggestion. I have not read that one. Yeah, that is. That is. I think I think she must have led a pretty good life if she can be, if those are her laments. 'Cause I love her stuff. Okay, back to, oh, and then, um, Groggy Froggy says the Raven. I don't I have the Raven on my, I just posted it on my YouTube, so I definitely have it, but I have a long one. Um, oh, and somebody asked for Ode by Arthur O'Shaughnessy, I think. Whoever asked for that, are you still in here? Okay. Uh, where were we? The Highwayman. Oh, and Miss, I'm sorry I missed your comment there, um, on YouTube comment. Hmm, okay. All right. Let me, Beth. I'm gonna do this, the Highwayman real quick, and we'll probably bump that to next time if that's okay. But I'm very interested in that. Okay. But let's just see. The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He'd a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of the claret velvet, and breeches of brown doeskin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jeweled twinkle, his pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle, under the jeweled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the dark inn yard. He tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. And dark in the dark old inn yard a stable wicket creaked, where Tim the ostler listened. His face was white and peaked. His eyes were hollows of madness, his hair like moldy hay. But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and he heard the robber say, "One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'm after a prize tonight, but I shall be back with the gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." He rose upright in the stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, but she loosened her hair in the casement. His face burnt like a brand as the black facade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his rein in the moonlight and galloped away to the west. He did not come in the dawning. He did not come in the dawning. He did not come at noon. And out of the tawny sunset before the rise of the moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon looping the purple moor, a redcoat troop came marching, marching, marching. King George's men came marching up to the old inn door. They said no word to the landlord. They drank his ale instead. But they gagged his daughter and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. Two of them knelt at her casement with muskets at her side. There was death at every window and hell at one dark window, for Bess could see through her casement the road that he would ride. Yeah, it reminds me of Anna Green Gables too. That's the first time I ever heard it. They had tied her up to attention with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her with the muzzle beneath her breast. "Now keep good watch," and they kissed her. She heard the doomed man say, "Look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." She twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. She writhed her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat, blood. They stretched and strained in the darkness, and the hours crawled by like years, till now, on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger, at least, was hers. The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. Up she stood to attention, with the muzzle beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing. She would not strive again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood of her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain. Talat, 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 had they heard him? The horse hoofs ringing clear. Talat, talat, talat in the distance. Were they deaf that they did not hear? Down the ribbon of moonlight, over the brow of the hill, the highwaymen came riding, riding, riding. The redcoats looked to their priming. She stood up, straight and still. Talat, talat in the frosty silence. Talat, talat in the echoing night. Nearer he came, and nearer. Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She drew one last deep breath. Then her muzzle moved in the moonlight. Her mullet shattered the moonlight. shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned, he spurred to the west. He did not know bowed, who stood bowed with her head, or the musket drenched with her own blood. Not till the dawn he heard it, and his face grew gray to hear how Bess, the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there. Back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon, wine red as his velvet coat, when they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway. And he lay in his blood on the highway with a bunch of lace at his throat. And still of a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, a highwayman comes riding, riding, riding. A highwayman comes riding up the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clatters and clangs in the dark inn yard. He taps with his whip on the shutters, but all is locked and barred. He whistles a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. Yeah, that's a good one. So old Anna Green Gables, first time I ever heard that one. Let's see. Ella Wheeler Wilcox, maybe? Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I always like that one. It's like, you know, so romantic, as Anne Shirley liked it for that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that narrows it down a little bit. But I don't remember the exact um I bet I do know. I bet it's You Never Can Tell. I mean, she has several about friends and stuff, but I think it's this one. Uh, you never can tell when you send a word like an arrow shot from a bow by an archer blind, be it cruel or kind, just where it may chance to go. It may pierce the breast of your dearest friend, tipped with its poison or balm, to a stranger's heart, and its great mart, it may carry its pain or its calm. You never can tell when you do an act just what the result will be, but with every deed you are sowing a seed through the harvest, though the harvest you may not see. Each kindly act is an acorn dropped in God's productive soil. You may not know, but the tree shall grow with shelter for those who toil. You never can tell what your thought will do in bringing you hate or love, for thoughts are things and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. They follow the law of the universe. Each one must create its kind, and they speed o'er the track to bring you back whatever went out from your mind. That might have been it. I'm not sure, but that's a good one. Yeah, Ella Wheeler Wilcox. She's got a lot of really good stuff. Oh, Anne Shirley. I was absolutely smitten with Anne Shirley. I want to marry her, but you know, that didn't work out. Alexandra. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just need to feel the the weight of that emotion. It was cheery. It definitely was. We could have had a double wedding, you know. Oh well, things don't always work out. But that was a great poem. The Yeah, Austin, definitely you ought to do that. And it's in this, I guess it was a mini series or something called Anne of Green Gables. And there's this little girl, I don't remember what grade she was in, but she recites at least part of it in the movie or the show or whatever. And it was, I don't know, had an impression on me. Um, Ashley, music by like Percy Shelley. I don't know if I know that one. Okay, okay, good deal. Let me find. I think I got it right here. A mix of Anne Shirley, Gilbert Blythe, and a Tukashava. That you sound cool. You sound super cool. Yeah, Alexander, exactly. Want to hang out? Okay, music by Percy Shelley. Music, when soft voices die, vibrates in the memory. Odors, when sweet violets sicken, live within the scents they quicken. Rose leaves, when the rose is dead, are heaped for the beloved's bed. And so many thoughts, and so thy thoughts, when thou art gone, love itself shall slumber on. And that was great. Thank you for suggesting that. Yeah, well, I think I am going to get going. My phone is about to die. But I'm planning on doing this. You're welcome, Ashley. Great suggestion. Thank you for introducing me to that one. But I'm shooting for 10 o'clock Central tomorrow evening is, is my next live, most likely. And of course, you can always check out my podcast, YouTube, on links in the bio. But always appreciate y'all. It's always lovely meeting people. If I didn't get to your message, my apologies. I probably didn't see it. And yep, everybody, thank you. Have a great night. See you soon. Well, that's all she wrote. Good night.